again, and welcome to Gold Standard Service Training. I'm Alana Belina Solis, the founder and CEO and the Chief Training Officer of the company. Today we are talking about the Customer Satisfaction Survey. Yes, it's a big, huge bone of contention with most advisors and service managers, so it's what we're talking about today. As always, if you like our content, please like and subscribe so that you don't miss any of our notifications in the future. So the Customer Service Satisfaction Index, it might also be called the CXI, the Customer Experience, or many other things depending on what manufacturer you work with. This is meant to measure the actual satisfaction of the customer. Sadly, though, a lot of companies have tied the performance of the advisor directly to what the customer puts down on the survey, which in my opinion is a bit skewed. And for those of you that don't know what the Customer Satisfaction Survey Index is, if you have ever gone to a dealership for service in the old days, you may have got a paper survey, you may have got something emailed to you from the manufacturer asking you a few questions about how satisfied you were with your experience. There's many different ways that the surveys are worded, and they've changed and evolved so many times over the last 20 years since I started being an advisor. But basically they want to know how it was, would you go back, was your car fixed properly? And these are things that as a service manager or service advisor, you want to know. Like, these are things that you would like feedback on, because it's a fact that maybe only 5 to 10% of people will actually communicate with you as a manager or a service advisor if they are unhappy with their service. And that's important to know. But if they are filling out a survey, the odds that they will actually be honest are much higher. The odds that they will be, overzealous with their comments is also high as well. In the old days, we used to be able to bribe the customers with oil changes to get the surveys back, because they were only sent out, to the first year service customers, and they were also mailed out, so we could intercept them. Sometimes if, we said to the customer, hey, if you bring down your survey, we'll give you free oil change. But sadly, you can't do that anymore because they're emailed directly to the customers. So the feedback is going to happen no matter what. If you have done a bad job, you're going to hear about it. But you also hear about it if you've done a really good job. So what I've found with surveys is, for me, I don't spend a lot of time talking about the survey or pointing out that they're going to get a survey. I do not, if you fill out your survey, well, it's important to me. It's my personal mark. I used to do that in the past, but nowadays I found that it's just better to give really good service so that the customer actually wants to give you praise when they fill out the survey. And here we get to the point of contention where most advisors get quite angry with the survey situation being tied to their wage. So it's a fact that bad surveys are going to happen. There will be some angry customer that got serviced in another country or province or something else, and they had a bad experience and they never got a survey. This time they really liked you, you did a great job, but they're going to use this survey to let the manufacturer know that this other dealership did a terrible job. But they don't take into consideration that this is your report card, not the people that had helped you in the other town. So my experience with these is that when they happen, you have to kind of just let those ones go. There's always going to be those bad surveys that you cannot do anything about no matter what. There will be some, 5% of customers that you cannot make happy no matter what you've done, no matter how you've done it. There's just personality clashes and things like that will happen. But it's also a fact that 95% of your customers that take the time to give you feedback are giving you honest feedback. And that means that as a manager, I would want to know what those customers are actually saying. So if, for example, you get a whole bunch of surveys back that says your wait times to drop off are too long, or the time to pick up your vehicle in line when you come at the end of the day is taking too long, those are things as a manager you need to sit down and evaluate. For me, when I was managing, I would go to the back of the drive-through or stand beside the advisors and kind of watch and time how much time it was taking for the advisor to get the customer out of the door when they were being written up or cashing out. And these are things as a customer that are important, because all of us have no time. Nobody has time to do anything anymore, but those are as a service provider, we want to make sure that we are getting the customer in an expedient fashion and getting them out in the same way. So if their feedback is stating these things, then that is a window into the actual operation of what's going on in your dealership. And those are the things that you need to react to. Personally, I feel that tying a service advisor's wage directly to the survey is not really fair. These people work, 10 to 12 hours a day, 4 to 5 days a week, and having 2 to 50% of their commissions taken away because 3 or 4 people decided to be angry about whatever reason and take out the revenge on someone or something that's happened with the manufacturer. These are things that you can't control. You can control wait times, you can control a lot of other things and communication, but these are things that you need to use the survey for to evolve your department and grow your department. So it's one thing to bonus people off the surveys, but it's another entirely to tie their wage completely to it. So I have a lot of strong feelings about that, obviously. So my understanding with how most departments work and how most dealerships work is if the surveys are not, kind of in the top zone, there's a lot of reimbursements or perks that don't happen, which are important for the dealership to continue to give really good service to the customer. It may affect the way the loaner cars are distributed or taxis are paid for, and those are how you need to service the customer nowadays. We need to pay for Ubers, taxis, shuttles, rental cars, all those things. And if you're getting perks because of your survey scores, then these are things you need to focus on 100%. But you also can focus on, genuine feedback from the customer about what's going on in your drive-through. So if you're having problems getting good feedback and generating good survey return, please message me, advise me at goldstandardservicetraining.com. I personally don't spend a lot of time talking about the survey, but I have the most return in my dealership and I'm always above zone. And I've kind of been dealing with the survey that way since 2000 when I started working at dealerships. So I know it works. My son also works at the same manufacturer as I do, and I know our process works because I've taught him the same way since he was younger, and he just had record CSI scores over the last 2 months that he's been working at the dealership he's at. So the process works. If you want to learn some of the process, please reach out. Thanks a lot.